Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is Jay and welcome to The Ship Life. So for today's cruise news, we have a disappointing update when it comes to the NCL Escape, as there has been more cancellations all due to an incident that took place earlier this month. In this video, of course, I'll tell you what's going on. We'll do a brief recap, that way everybody is on the same page. I'll give you a little bit of inside knowledge because as most of you know, the NCL Escape is a ship I used to work on. We'll also take a look back at history, that way we can give an indication as far as what could potentially be going on in the future with the NCL Escape. Let's go. So at the time of this recording, 3 sailings have officially been canceled that were scheduled to take place on board the NCL Escape. The first one took place mid-cruise between the dates of March 12th and March 19th. It unfortunately caused this whole conundrum and round of cancellations that we're seeing now. I'll tell you the story in a second. The second round of cancellations took place on a sailing that was going out on March 19th, and then recently we had a sailing cancellation announced for the sailing that was taking place on March 26th on board the NCL Escape. All of this due to the ship running aground back on March 14th earlier this month. Running aground means that it unfortunately hit land and the front of the ship may have potentially been damaged, and now we have this whole runaround, and it caused a giant problem for the NCL crew, the NCL Escape, and everybody on board. Essentially what happened, it happened on the 14th around like afternoon time. The ship was stuck there for about 12 hours. They had boats that were coming out, tugboats, to hopefully try to get the ship free. However, it was low tide, so they couldn't get the ship out. However, the following morning around 12:45 a.m., with the help of the tugboats and the high tide coming back, the ship was able to break free. Now, they went to assess the damage because all this took place around Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. The ship went back over to the pier to assess the damage. At the time, nobody really thought there was any damage, but the cruise line NCL, they said as an abundance of caution, they're going to fly everybody home. Now, we ran into more problems there. There were people that were able to get home, no problem, but you have people, some people without, passports that ran into a little bit of trouble. Some people had an easier route getting home. Some people, again, without passports, had a harder route getting home, which is a reminder to everybody, by the way, and this has been circulating all over social media and cruise sites and cruise forums. If you can, guys, which everybody can, go get your passport. It will help you in the event of an emergency or something like this happening in the long run and keep you from being stuck and potentially losing money throughout the process and, well, just having to go through a headache. But anyway, the ship has now arrived back in Port Canaveral, its home port that it's currently staying at right now, and a lot of people are saying that there is damage to the hull of the ship, which is like the bottom side of the ship. Now, the only other time something like this has happened, just to give everything reference, back in 1999 there was the NCL Sky. It was going from Quebec City over to Boston for its Canadian sailings out of Boston when it ran aground. The ship was out for a little over a month. Now, it's only been, almost 3 weeks since the NCL Escape had ran aground. However, it just got back to its home port over in Port Canaveral, and we are just kind of seeing the dominoes fall little by little as far as sailings. A lot of people are disappointed, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, it does look like the ship may have at this point suffered from some damage, because if it hadn't, well, the sailings would be going on. I think at this point it's kind of obvious whether NCL has reported that there's actual damage or not. Now, I do have friends that are currently on board that are doing shows. Like I said, as most of you know, I used to work on board the NCL Escape, so I kind of got some eyes and ears on the ground. I will tell you, however, that the crew on board, from the higher ups, the officers, the captains, they've been extremely tight-lipped and haven't really been saying much. However, the crew are assuming that the ship is going to go to dry dock and it may potentially be out for about a month, maybe a little longer. But however, I cannot confirm this. And I know a lot of people don't like the speculation, but like I said, that's why I'm using the reference for the NCL Sky. That's the last time something like this happened. The ship literally ran aground. Then they had something, I believe was the NCL Dream, like a week prior, that ran into like a cargo ship or something like that. Similar situation, but the NCL Sky is the best reference that I can give. So for those of you out there that have been impacted and possibly had sailings on like the March 26th sailing for the NCL Escape, well, NCL is giving you 2 options that will hopefully satisfy your needs as far as your sailing that you had planned. Well, even though I've heard a lot of people are still having some gripes about rooms and whatnot, first world problems. But the first option is that they are giving you a choice of 4 ships. I believe I saw the NCL Joy, the NCL Encore, the Getaway, and the Dawn, all sailing out of New Orleans, Tampa, and Miami. So you can choose between those sailings, I believe, between the 26th and the 27th as an alternative option since you can't sail on the Escape. Now, like I said, there are room selection and stuff that may not be afforded to you because they have potentially already been booked, stuff of that nature. Now, you can also, for the second option, do a full refund, and NCL is going to give you 50% future cruise credit, which, by the way, I forgot, if you do choose out of those 4 ships, you get 100% future cruise credit. Now, with that 50% future cruise credit, NCL is saying that it's going to be added to your Latitude account around April 4th. So there you have it. Make your choice. The choice is yours. Either way, guys, we are going to leave it right here. If you guys were impacted and you had sailings, or maybe you were on board the NCL Escape when it ran aground, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I know there was a lot of NCL loyals out there. What do we call NCL loyal people? I know we have loyal to royal. We're trying to think of something for Carnival, or maybe like the fun family. I don't know. We got to get creative. What do we have for NCL? I can't even think of anything right now, but there were some people that were mad because they were swearing up and down that NCL was taking care of everybody, which we all know. Nobody here denied it, all right? We never said NCL wasn't taking care of the passengers, but in regards to the passengers without passports, there were some that naturally and understandably ran into a little bit of trouble. NCL had no control over who had their passports and who didn't have their passports. It's not their fault. I'm sure NCL took care of all the passengers and make sure they were great and make sure they got home safe and sound, even if there were a couple complications, which again, out of their control. Either way, guys, just know that I appreciate you. If you enjoyed this video, of course, hit that like button on your way out, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you later. Take it easy.